This Sunday. Every Sunday, side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here, relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp at mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
Alrighty, here we go on another rollicking Sunday afternoon. You have tuned into Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only fully vetted automotive talk show, Chris, I gotta say. And here we are, Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. Good to see you again.
Always a pleasure, Ray. Good to see you as well. It sounded like you had a fantastic week just by that open.
I did have a fantastic week, and I tell you something, we're going to start off, we're just going to get right into this, okay?
Tell me. I'm ready.
Sometimes I just lead you in slowly and kind
I
of...
was going to say, what did you have, a whole bunch of Entenmann's powdered donuts or what?
No, they were all gone by the time I got in the studio. No, I have some special guests today.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's like last minute thing. This stuff, people drop out of the clouds. So I want to yeah, come on in, guys. So we have.
Wait a minute, I know those two gentlemen.
Let them get their headsets on. All right, I got to see what microphone's going to be theirs. I don't even know. Okay.
You don't have to introduce them to me.
I know.
Introduce them to the rest of the world. You don't have to introduce them to me.
Okay, fellas, you're all mic'd up. Can you hear us? Everything is good? Oh, yeah, microphones. You need,
need those. Oh, yeah, those are important.
You probably need that. Yes, we have Mike and Chris Malazzi in the studio with us today.
Gentlemen,
a pleasure.
Thank you guys for having us.
Actually, Chris's stand is cutting Mike's face right in half.
That's okay.
But you do it. Maybe we can. You can bend it.
Right, bend it or
that's
raise
I
it
just
over
don't
a
like
chair.
seeing it cross someone's face. That's all.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Chris, we've been talking about the Impala project. We have our Impala clothes on today.
I can see that.
Fully
Yeah.
geared. And yesterday was the delivery date. It was the handoff. And I mentioned to the guys, I said, it'd be really cool. I'd like to have you guys on the show. And they said, we were thinking the same thing. I said, no one ever says that.
That's what I'm sitting here, I'm fat, drunk, and stupid. I'm sitting here and going, why is the second camera on?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right.
What's up, guys? I see you got yourself a handful and you needed a tent for it.
It was, it's awesome. Again, thank you guys for having us, first of all. It's so surreal to kind of, when Ray called us down to the shop and obviously took this project on, we were head over heels for it. We were so eager to kind of channel, Dad's legacy through this car and kind of see her back on the road. And yesterday was surreal for both of us.
Mike, do you want to explain the backstory of how this all came to be and why we're having this conversation?
Sure, yeah. So back in January, unfortunately, our father passed due to leukemia cancer. And it was a turning point for both of us and our entire family, friends, everybody. And he had an Impala that was sitting in storage for upwards of 10 years. It hadn't been driven in over 10 years. Right. 65 Chevy Impala convertible. And, Chris, you know that car very well, obviously, from the past.
I was with your dad when he bought it, yeah.
Yep. And so it was in storage, and my brother Chris and I were like, you know what, maybe this is where, we get this thing back on the road and really, we just got to find the right person. And that's when Chris had come down.
How fast did that decision come about? Like, was that something you thought right away, or was it because you
well,
had a lot on your plate? I mean,
yeah,
let's face it.
It was a lot of corralling of things towards the end of the month, and we wanted to, unfortunately, the cars were a part of that. So they were both in storage. There are two, but the Chevy was the one that we did first. We came to the decision by the end of the month. I think we both, the family of us, went to go see it. Broke my heart. Just kind of sitting there, slowly, crying away. So we're like, it would be cool if we can turn this around. So we called Chris, and Andy ended up coming out from Brooklyn, surveying the car, and got in contact with Ray. And, the beginning of June, Ray took it back to the shop and got her back with a heartbeat, which is insane to even say out loud. So, and we got to see the car yesterday. So it was a roller coaster of emotions, albeit ending great. And I couldn't be any more grateful for all the support that we've had between, Ray taking the car on, the shop owner, Mike taking the car, Chris and Andy coming out to see and survey and see what kind of needed to be done. Right. It's just, I know Dad would be proud. And it's like we said, we brought it home yesterday, and the emotions were at an all-time high for me. So. Oh, yeah.
Now, just when we last left before the car, when we were still in the planning stages of what to do with the car, while it was still back in January in 9-degree weather, the decision was you didn't know what you were going to keep it or save it.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, it was you, Christopher, that if I'm not mistaken, you dropped the axe and said, yes, we're going to keep the car. Am I right?
Very much. I'll be honest, I'm not trying to trash talk a little bit, but there was very much a realistic perspective and then the hopeful perspective, and I think I had the more hopeful one. But I had actually mentioned it to a couple of personal friends of mine, and all of them kind of came back with the same consensus that was like, the second you get that thing moving, and if you're in it, like, it's going to completely change your perspective on it. Like the second you drive it, you're not going to want to get rid of it.
Right.
So just off those conversations, I was very much, we got to do it. I wasn't, I would say I was, I don't know, 6 to 8 when last time these things were at home and not in storage. So I have very vague memories of the car being at home. Probably not as good as Mike does, but it was always that special thing that he had. Like, he always had those cars, and I remember always kind of bragging to my friends about it. Being like, oh yeah, he has these in store. Like, oh, you ever rode in it? And I was like, nope. So, personal thing for me.
Isn't it amazing how an inanimate object can evoke these kind of feelings? And I mean, this is what we do on the show. We do it every week. We've been doing it for many, many years. Right. So, we've been living this all our lives. And when I see guys like you sense that, I know it's real. And I know that it can propagate. It can go forward. People say, no, come on. Chris is one of the greatest naysayers you'll ever meet in the world. He'll poo-poo on anything that you could say. And
no, true. No, Ray's absolutely right, because to me, they're commodities to be bought and sold. Yep. They don't have a soul. They don't have a perspective. This one does.
Yes.
This does for the amount of emotion that surrounds this car.
Well, that's the thing. The car still doesn't. You know what? I see. I'm not going to argue with myself, Chris. You see, you try to do this to me all the time. I think the car does have a soul in some respect. It has taken the cars. I think in some respect, can take the fibers of their owners. I felt it working on the car. Are you kidding me? I was like, "Oops, sorry, Mike. I didn't want to." But no. But the people. It's the bond that the people have with them, and that goes through the family.
Yes.
So that's
and Ray, you brought up a great point about working on the car. What did you say to me about how things were coming apart and going back together? You had mentioned it, and I found it fascinating.
It was very obvious to me that this car, it was, even though it had been dormant for 10 years or more, it was put together right, and it was built right with the right love and care and craftsmanship. And there's a couple things that I would change if it was mine, but that all cars are like that. Overall, you look at it and you say, it wasn't hack built. This car was done by a guy who really cared for this. Just the way the things were laid in the trunk, for Christ's sakes. I mean, come on, literally, it was just you can see it. If you can't see it, you're blind, and you know nothing about cars or people. But and I had only met Mike, their father, a couple times, but I felt like I knew him. I know the guy by looking at the way you can tell by the way someone dresses, the way they keep their house, maybe the way they keep their car. You get a vibe about what the person's like. And only, of course, through hearing stories from you from years ago back to childhood, was it cemented, And Mike Sims gave some glowing reviews. Oh my God, don't get me started. I'm like, yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, because I mean, your dad was involved in the community here, involved in the car community, and I knew him my whole life. It was, he was woven into the fabric of the people around us, even though he never came on this radio program.
Right.
And I've invited him many times. Yeah. I says, come on, do the show with me. Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. I have nothing to say. He always used to tell me, I go, you have nothing to say?
The irony.
Come on. He's got, yeah.
And Chris, who else? We've heard that from some of the biggest celebrities and people in the industry, in the car industry. They've all said the same thing. Wow, what am I going to talk about? And like, are you kidding me? Like, you're all over the place. But no, that's just the car guy thing.
So what was going through your mind the second you got behind the wheel? I need some because Ray and I were talking about this. You never drove an old car before. You're used to precision.
Yeah, that was the first one, and
this is far from it.
It was definitely different. I mean, just everything. As soon as I sat in the driver's seat and touched the steering wheel, not to sound cliche, but it was like channeling my dad through the car.
I'm sure.
Just flashing back to all the memories of, him going to car shows with both of us, him driving the car, because I knew it a little bit better, like Chris was saying earlier. I was, so that just everything flooded back. And I was like, obviously anxious to get in and drive it, but also like scared because I didn't know what to expect, right? Because like you said, I'm so used to the cars of today. That was different, but what a rush and what a feeling. So it's cool to be able to say, that the first classic car that I drove was my father's. That is an awesome way to put a cherry on top, if you will.
And I have to say too, because we all took turns, and even their mom drove the car, and she nailed it, man. Literally nailed it.
Shout out to Mom.
She did a great job. But I gotta say, the unforeseen surprise in the room for me was Chris. Chris, you are like the Iceman, dude. You are. I figured Mike would be, and Mike, not that you did a bad job, but Chris was like, "Oh, I got this. This is no problem." I'm like, what?
Take it by the horns.
Yeah, just owned it. No. I mean, they both said they were nervous. They said, yeah, of course you are. I was too first time I took it out. Yeah. But I know those cars. Yeah, you rocked it.
I drive for a living, so I'm not new to that. But it's definitely.
Hey, pick up Chris's mic, please. Can't hear him.
Actually, yeah, Chris.
Yeah, better. Yeah. Better. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Like I said, I drive for a living, so I'm not any stranger to it. But it was definitely different. Right off the bat, I'm just thinking, Ray made a good point when we first actually drove it. He was like, you got to watch your right-hand turns. Anytime I was taking a right, I feel like I was going to clip some back of another car.
You'd be going over the curb with that right rear wheel.
Oh, yeah. I was anxious as well, but I was more excited than anything. This was something that I was looking forward to for so long. And when Ray sent us the video of it running for the first time, me and Mike had a conversation about this. Yeah. That was when it all felt real. We were like, obviously, it's in the shop, it's getting done.
Yeah.
But always that comes with the caveat of, when is it actually going to happen? But once that video came out, we were like,
well, because everything you saw prior to that were pictures of me. I took pictures daily working on it, and so it was rusty stuff or bad stuff or this. Yep. So you were just seeing parts. Mm-hmm. And people had said to me I have friends who came to see the car. Guys that don't know you guys and said, "Oh, you work on an Impala? I want to come look at this car." And they all said the same thing. When are you going to get it running? How's it? I said, you know what? That's the last thing I'm worried about. And that's what one of the show topics is that I want to convey to people. If you store the car right, you're going to be okay on the other end. And like I told you yesterday, Mike and Chris, that motor still may actually get a little smoother. It didn't even have a tick to it. But you think of when you shut a car off, you have 16 valves on that engine, and they're all going to be in different positions. Some are going to be fully open, some will be fully closed. They're going to be in all different parts depending where the camshaft is, and they stay there for 10 years. Some springs are fully compressed, some springs are not compressed. Right. That's when valves stick. Rust builds up, all sorts of things. Mice build nests behind the valves sometimes.
No, don't they ever.
So besides that, which I didn't think was going to be an issue, and it isn't, still, it just sat dormant like that for a while, and it needs to get run and get itself back together. So I said, yeah, I really wasn't worried about running it. And truth be told, the carburetor got rebuilt, put it on, squirted some fuel in it. I waited till the gas tank was in, hit it with a little bit of ether, and boom, that car just fired. And I'm like, thank you. Now I know I was being watched.
That was a tribute to both of our work, because we put the heads on that car. Mm-hmm. Your dad and I, we did that work. So it was, there was like I was telling Ray earlier, we really tried, your dad and I really tried to not be the automotive hack, not be the slob, we always wanted to keep everything on the straight and narrow, because we were proud of the work we did. And but we had to learn. We both, your dad and I both looked at each other like, yeah, okay, we got to figure this out. There was no internet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't want to burst your bubble, Chris, but I thought about it and I said, why is this car running so good? I've revived it.
Burst my bubble. You can do that.
It was the tune-up, and it's the ignition that your dad put in the car. He put either an MSD or a Petronix electronic ignition in that car, because I saw the connector. I didn't pull the cap, but I know it's in there, and I said, that's so again, if you're going to store a car, do it right. There's always something that can happen, but the more preparation you do on the front side, the better it'll be on the back side, and this is just a case of what it takes to bring a car out of storage. We talk about this on the show all the time, and people aren't prepared for it. They are not prepared. And luckily, this is what it takes to get a good car out of storage. I was telling the guys, some of the cars that I've had come through were left in a field for 20 years, and now it's like, all right, here we go. Yeah. Just, we're changing everything. So, yeah. So now, of course, we're talking about aftercare. We're talking about fuel stabilizers, ethanol eating things, all the chemicals that we like to use in our, because it's not going to be a daily driver. Let's face it, none of our cars like that are.
Right.
But I'll tell you what is a daily driver. The phone line here does still work, and you can call us at 516-572-7440, or do we have a text line?
Yes, we do. You could text us at 203-670-4127. Ask Chris and Mike some questions about their newfound, what would you say, hobby / interest /
Yeah.
Who knows?
Passion is up there.
Yeah.
I was always teetering, but now I have an excuse.
Yeah, right. and don't forget, follow us on social media. All these pictures, I've been putting them up regularly on Motormouth Radio on X and Facebook. Also, real_Motormouth Radio on Instagram. And of course, YouTube, Motormouth Radio and Motormouth Video, where this show will go later today. And you can catch up with what we've been doing. Because I've been putting the pictures up kind of regularly. Now, today's picture will be a little redundant, but who cares?
Right. So did you guys have any consternation over this? Did you ever stand back and go, oh, we're in over our heads? Holy smokes. Was there any doubt to this?
Not necessarily. I think, Chris, like Chris was saying earlier, he was adamant about getting it back. I would say a little bit more pushbacky. I was trying to take a more realistic approach. I'm like, well, okay, when are we going to care for this thing, drive it, et cetera, et cetera. Right now we're in prime season, but
guys, we're also in prime. We're going to take a phone call.
Oh, good.
Let's go to the phones in the fun and say hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths and Chris and Mike.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Bob. What's happening?
Robert.
I wanted to say, guys, I've been following you for the last couple of weeks on the Impala, and I want to congratulate the guys on doing their dad's car out of storage.
Thank you.
We had I was fortunate enough to have my grandfather's car I think it was either a 65 or 66 two-door SS.
Okay.
Nice. There you go.
Okay.
And drove from Long Island up to Rutland, Vermont in that thing.
Wow.
Nice.
Ooh.
I was like 10.
yeah.
True story. I was like maybe 9 or 10.
Right.
And then when I saw my uncles over this weekend, this past summer up in Vermont, my uncle Mike, he knew the story of the car.
Another
So
Mike.
he and his father had bought the car up in Rutland, and it was a 2-door black SS. I don't remember if it was a 65 or 66, as I said.
Okay.
Great choice, guys, on the restoration.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very good, Bob. All right, thanks for the call, Bob. We appreciate that.
What engine's in that car?
It's got a 327 in it.
Yeah.
We believe it was changed, right?
Yep. I was just going to say, I think it was the old.
Still, you kept it.
Yeah.
One interesting note was I don't remember a tack, but you know what I remember? A vacuum gauge on the console.
Okay. This car has the vacuum gauge in the dash on the right pod. The console houses a clock.
Oh, okay. So then.
And I remember, I'll tell you
maybe
something. I remember back in high school, I had a friend who had a 65 SS, and I remember his had 4 gauges on the console, like the Camaro came with.
That's neat. That's a neat console.
So I guess it came different ways depending how maybe you could option it. I don't know.
I think that was a 66, but yeah, there were different ways.
So either way, guys, congratulations and great program.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Always a pleasure.
All right, be like Bob. Give us a call, 516-572-7440. So I'm sorry, Mike, you were in the middle of saying something when we...
Yeah, having doubts.
Yeah. So, like, I was more of the trying to take a realistic approach. Like, I didn't want to get attached. I was already attached because of all the memories I had with my father.
Yeah,
but, you know, trying to keep it realistic. But when everything... when we got to see the car yesterday running, I was like, okay, well, we're back. I'm rubber banding back. I withdraw all my statements, and now it's it's a responsibility to take care of the car just as well as he did, and thankfully having the resources that Chris and I do to run things by people like Ray, Chris, in terms of the aftercare, like you were saying.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys, it's in your DNA for sure, but until you've been a guy like Chris and grew up in Brooklyn and saw what these yahoos did, your father included, and I say that in
he was there too.
You know, like I said, these guys were nuts. I mean, I was a Nassau guy. We did our own thing. They did their thing. We did our thing. And they were just a cut above. They had a whole different paradigm of what they did. But
working in the street.
Well, we all did that. But I mean, I appreciate it now. Back then, I was like, "Who are these nuts? What the hell are these guys doing?" Because I was explaining to the guys yesterday that being in, and Chris, this was a show topic here. When we had Mikey T on, when we would go into Queens or Brooklyn, it was like going into. We could have been going into Beirut for all we knew. It was like another world.
Close.
And then, you have friends and family there, so you do go. But when you go in on a car culture thing, like it's like the Warriors. You're going into another turf, and everybody's very. It was such a weird time in history. That's back in the '70s. I'm talking. And that's what really impressed me about the car is just seeing things. Everything was a snapshot of how your dad left it. The trunk, especially, that was my favorite.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
And that's what guys did. If you went and looked at Chris's stuff, you'd see probably the same things.
Yep, you sure would have. Egg crates, boxes of egg crates with car care products in there, or tools or parts.
Right,
were always in there. But of course, things move on, and you don't keep as many parts in your car anymore. You don't have the same old car anymore. So you transcend and move forward. But to open up that trunk, Ray, when we saw what your dad had in the trunk, it was like, holy smokes, it's 1987 all over again. And,
yeah.
And that to me, there was a couple of stages throughout this project where I even got a lump in my throat, and many times, and I can totally understand how you guys feel in that sort of way, not with the magnitude, but yes, certainly the impact, and go, wow, that's how it looked when I last saw it 30 years ago. And just to go, holy smokes, the fact that your dad left those confections in there. One of the things was the Father's Day plaque, right, Ray? You found it on the dash. And I had a vivid memory of the last time I saw that car running until now was when your dad showed up at the Father's Day show that Ray ran back in 2000.
That was 04.
I think you said 04, right?
Yeah.
It's just
And
crazy.
that's the year I started doing this.
Right. It's the full it's almost like full circle moment again,
Sure.
not to sound cliche.
No,
It's
it-
just
but it is.
like everything connects. And
You're not making it up, so it's
yeah,
real.
it was funny, Ray, the night before we picked it up, Ray sent us photos of a viewfinder that was around the parking brake. And that was surreal to see. As soon as he sent the pictures, I got tears in my eyes. I was like, this is cool. What it was a multiple pictures, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Englishtown, right? In the past. And like just seeing that car in that photo and then kind of flashing to now with my brother at my side, having this, this heirloom. It's I use the word surreal so many times, but that's it.
Yeah, those are the funny thing was I looked at those pictures as well. I hadn't seen them since that day.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, with the top down, I'm sitting next to your dad. I'm in the passenger seat in one of them, but in the other image, I'm actually driving the car.
Yes.
Because if I'm not mistaken, he had gotten out to write out the dash plaque that would go on the windshield to show like what year the car is, who owns it, to fill out all the identification on the car. So when you display it, everything is there on the dash or on the windshield. But your dad wrote it in such a calligraphy-esque sort of way.
That was his handwriting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm laughing because I'm like, when I show the car, it's like, okay, Chrysler. I write it out like in a ballpoint pen, Chrysler 300, blah, 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 slap it up there, done. Your dad took his time, so I had to move the car up.
Okay. So to back up a second, now, Mike, you do some photography work, correct?
A little bit, yeah. I did. I stopped for a bit, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's always been another hobby of mine through my life. Do you know how I got those pictures of that view graph?
No, I thought you literally took your phone and went right up to it. I'll be honest.
That's
I
what I
tried
thought.
that because I have used my phone as a microscope
Right.
in the garage.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
like gun barrel pictures. Because that's one of the macro photography has always been one of my biggest hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
No, I actually had to take the pictures out of the viewfinder, hold them in my fingers, and I had my camera on a tripod and had to focus it to find the right focal length. And got the picture and then
Wow.
expanded it. It was like
That's something.
I like by the second one, it was like 15 minutes. I go, what am I doing here? I wanted to get those, and I had to hold it up to my laptop, so I had some backlighting,
Yeah, right.
so it would see it. So yeah, that took about a half hour to get those.
Hey, they were awesome. Like I said, they brought a tear to my eye, so it was
Yeah,
definitely worth it. And then seeing them yesterday physically was even cooler. But
So every part is like that's what I tell people. Every part of things like this is a little project in itself.
Yeah.
And that's what I did on my deck at home. I had a cigar going. I had a cocktail. I read my email. I said, let me see if I can get these pictures. I want to do this. And
I'm
there
glad
go.
you did.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad
yeah.
you did.
A lot
We
of
still
fun.
haven't figured out who the one is sitting next to your dad with the car with the top up, because two pictures have the car with the top down, two pictures have the car with the top up. I don't know who that is. I have no clue who that is. So.
I don't know either. We were doing some talking around, and we were thinking. My mom was thinking it was maybe Sal, but I'm not sure. So
It could have been. Who knows?
so,
Right.
Because there was always like 15 or 20 of us there at any given moment.
yep.
Because that's what we did. We used to go down to Englishtown to sell parts. It was before the advent of eBay. We'd go down there to sell parts. And when they opened up the car show, they used to do a car show on the drag strip of like classic cars, I think was one day, and hot rods were another day. And what was nice about the Chevy was he was able to throw it in either show.
Right.
It could have been a classic, could have been a hot rod, who knows. So that's what we would do. We would bring the cars finished, put them on the show while selling parts. It was a whole weekend of whatever you want to call it, drinking and working.
And hot dogs.
And hot dogs.
Festivities, if you will.
Hey, yes.
All right, so let me tell you, our festivities are bringing us to the bottom of the hour, so we're going to take our break. When we come back, Chris, I have another surprise for you. I don't know if you can take this much in one day.
I'm already losing breath here. Yes.
We may have to send the Connecticut EMS to your house. I don't know.
Yes, you may have to.
So we have something for you in the second half of the show. The third half of the show, we're doing something totally different. I can't tell you.
Good. Recovering. Hopefully, it'll involve oxygen.
I hope so too.
Yes.
Like I said, I got up at 10 o'clock today. I slept. I was shocked.
You were a dirty stay out, young man.
I didn't
You
stay
and your
out.
rummy friends.
All right, so let me say that your WHPC weather forecast is powered by Pantano's Gourmet with locations in Uniondale. And as I look out of the WHPC weather window,
What do you see?
I do see they say it's going to be cloudy with a possible chance of showers. I don't know. It's humid enough. It could. And maybe a thunderstorm. High of 79. The humidity makes it feel a little higher. I don't like humidity. I hate it. But tonight, partly cloudy to sunny. What? No. Sorry. Partly cloudy to start. So that's what we anticipate. Then becoming mostly cloudy overnight, low 66. Tomorrow it's going to be about 85. I now have the Impala came off the lift and the Fiat went right on. Tomorrow I'm going back to the shop and I'm doing the calipers and hoses on my Fiat.
You're going to be speaking Italian before you know it.
Que sera. So, Eisenhower Park. Guess what? WHPC invites you to celebrate summer at the Harry Chapin Lakeside Theater in Eisenhower Park, Field 6. Monday, July 6th, we welcome you to celebrate German night with us. We can do some German. I like German night. All right. Show starts at 7 p.m. and it's free. It's a free community event. Bring a lawn chair, a sauerbraten, and enjoy the show. With that, do we have an honor group of the hour for today?
I'm afraid
do we have one?
Yes, sit back and relax, gang. The Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour this week, those who have accidentally poured the wrong automotive fluid into the wrong spot. Did you ever stand in the driveway, look at the owner's manual after the fact, and uttered those timeless words? That didn't go there, did it? We're talking about the folks who've put windshield washer fluid in the coolant reservoir, engine oil in the power steering, coolant in the washer bottle, transmission fluid where it had absolutely no business being, and yes, the legendary few who have somehow managed to introduce gasoline, diesel, or brake fluid into places engineers never imagined. You are not alone. You are part of a distinguished fraternity of driveway mechanics who've learned that every cap under the hood is there for a reason, and that the colors, symbols, and labels are more than just decoration. You'll be lucky if you can solve the problem with a roll of paper towels. Maybe, hopefully, you could sop it up, but you admit a funnel labeled, read the directions first, would have been better. But mostly you've come to the conclusion, well, I guess we're going to have to flush that system now. So if you've seen the fluid start bubbling, change color, or turn to mud by what you've just poured into it, then you're part of the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour this week.
Sounds like your Saturday night in 1985.
Been there.
All right. So stick with us. We got a few spots to play, and we will be back with more Motormouth Radio, Chris and Ray, and with Chris and Mike. Boy, we got the whole thing going on here today. And keep it where you got it on 90.3 WHPC.
HJ Boss Hit Bound.
Now full of jitterbugs from Pico Rivera, baby. I'm gonna cut one loose for you. Hey, Hector, your mama looking for you.
Hi, this is Butch Patrick, and you're listening to Motormouth Radio, just like me.
And this is George Barris, king of the customizer. Listen to Motormouth Radio. We're on the road.
This is Antonio Huggy Bear Fargus, and you're listening to Motormouth on WHPC 90.3. Nice!
Hey! Woo! He did the best. He did the best. He even got the call. He got the call numbers and everything.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
Okay, Mark Warman here from Graveyard Cars, hanging out with my buddies at, what's the name of it again?
Motormouth Radio.
Hey, Mark Warman here from Graveyard Cars, hanging out with my friends at Motormouth Radio. Sunday morning, I don't know what this fat bald guy's laughing about. You'll forget stuff soon enough too, my friend. Be sure to listen When are you guys on? 10 a.m.?
Sundays at noon.
Noon on Sundays.
Excellent. This was
no, you got the promo. The best one was the first one. That's why I was because you said, what was the name of this again? That's the promo.
What better presentation could you do than that?
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motor Mouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
All right, we're back. Motor Mouth Radio. Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer. We have the Malazzi boys, Mike and Chris, with us today. We're back for the second half of the show. We're going to do. I don't know where we're going to go because I don't know where. I know I have another surprise for Chris.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Well, Paul wants to know. Pirate Paul wants to know if you're going to the Chrysler Nationals. I said I had no idea. I didn't think so, but I would ask you. So, I guess that's a no.
No.
You were just talking about an issue with your car you needed to do something with, and I have something that could help you.
Yes,
you know
that is something.
Wait, guys ever seen these?
I have the cassette. The cassette is here.
This is a manual cassette rewinder.
And this is the cassette that needs to be rewinded.
Let's put them together. Yes.
I price those things. Do you know someone's got the brass, I'd like to use another word, to sell those for like $45-$50 a piece?
Yeah, I think that was the Switzy channel on YouTube or on eBay because he sells stuff. Well, look.
Yeah, what the hell?
If you want, you could use this deck care kit, which is also a splicer. You can splice and splice tape like in the old days. We have a this is the cassette capstan pinch roller cleaner kit, which it's got, you put some fluid in there. Just use this on the Toyota, and this is a let's see. Oh, this is another head. What is this? Yeah, they're two head cleaners.
Okay.
Back and get a load of this. We got the mother right here. This one.
Wow.
The demagnetizer.
Ooh,
the BDK
wow.
demagnetizer. So you see when you save all your
anything.
When you save all your old junk forever,
wow,
somebody's bound to need it. You see.
Well, and here's the reason why, guys. I'm in the process of taking old Motormouth radio shows and putting them online. And I have a site. It's called Car Course Media, and that's going to be one of the first things that we're using Car Course Media for, is to archive the old Motormouth radio shows. So, of course, from 2002 to 2006, I was putting them on cassette tape. Well, of course, the first cassette tape I grab, I throw it in the machine. It goes, whoa. And I'm like, oh, I wonder why. Maybe because it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, so I noticed that it still spins, but now the rewinder is too weak to kind of get it out of that whatever is binding it. So it's either I'm going to take it apart and do it that way, or I can get a mechanical winder, see if I can power through it. So I asked Ray, and Ray's got everything.
Got him. Yep.
I said, Ray, I need a mechanical cassette winder. He goes, oh, I got that.
Yep. Got it. Yep.
So that's what we're working on. But I got to ask you, what's the future for the Chevy? What are we doing with it? What is your plans for the future?
It hasn't been at the house 24 hours yet.
You gotta know.
We gotta figure out, first of all, how to get the convertible top down off the motor, because we were talking about it yesterday. It was drizzling yesterday, so not a good day for it. But Chris was like, it'd be a sin to take this thing down to Ocean Parkway and not have it as the convertible down. So that's probably step one. And then, Chris and I were talking about the summer, taking it to some shows. We went to the Father's Day show down at Merrick last week. And then him and I went to Point Lookout at the beginning of the month in May. So we're trying to build our repertoire and build our arsenal, if you will, of being familiar with all these cars. So and to have something to actually bring now is even cooler.
So I didn't get a chance to look into that yet, but I think, and I only had one car with a power top. That was my Challenger. So I know, we have there's a pump, there's a motor and a pump, lines and pistons.
Right.
So when I first activated the switch, I had nothing, no noise, no nothing. I said, okay, we got a problem. But once I worked it and played with it, I heard the the pump. I could hear it run. The motor runs in both directions. So you think, okay, maybe low on fluid.
Right.
And then I said, okay, if it's low on fluid, where'd the fluid go? There's no leak. There was no puddles anywhere. So again, it needs to be looked at. And I believe that pump and motor is behind the back seat in that well.
Yeah.
And I guess you access it from inside the car.
See, no, you access it from inside the trunk.
Well, I thought that first. I said, you know what? I'm not emptying this trunk. I am not taking everything out of here. No, not because it was a big job to do. I just didn't want to upset anything.
No, sure.
So I figured this can be addressed. It's not going to stop us from driving the car. We'll look into it. And it may be, well, the transmission, when I put the car, first tried to back it out of the shop, I put it in reverse and it didn't go anywhere. I'm like, what? I tried drive, nope, nothing. So I checked the stick, and there was no fluid on the stick. That happens. Automatic transmissions will leak when they sit.
Right.
And I noticed in the garage there was some cardboard or mat under it that had some fluid on it.
Yep.
So I had to put a couple of 3 quarts of tranny fluid in it, and of course the car went into gear and drove. But the power steering, if that's a sealed system, but so the top is a sealed system. So Chris, you've had more convertible experience than me in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
What are you thinking?
Definitely there's got to be a leak somewhere. But unfortunately, the only way you're going to find the leak is if you put fluid in it.
So there is a port where you can add fluid? Okay.
In the top of the motor, there should be like a rubber bong sits on the top of that. You got to pop that off, and the fluid goes in there. But it's tricky because I do remember your dad trying to do it once. And he got like transmission fluid all over him, and that was the end of that.
All right. So that's where those factory service manuals that I gave back to you,
right.
It's in there. There's a whole section on convertible tops. Look at it, read it. And if you need a hand, of course, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out.
Sounds good.
It is definitely a 2-man job. It's stories come from jobs like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because you need one guy to hold the top well, what the folded convertible top sits in. You need one guy to hold that up while the other guy has the funnel pouring in liquid into the motor. So you need literally 8 hands to do that one task. So that's why it's good to like Ray says, clean the trunk out, lay a blanket in there because there's sharp stuff, and you just hop in.
Sounds good. Got to get in there, right?
Yeah, you definitely do, and keep like a broom handle around so the trunk lid doesn't fall on you.
So the good news is
that could happen too.
All of those parts are available, and there are places that rebuild them if needed. The motor works, so that's good. We know that's good.
That's great.
Now, the pump may or may not be working, so we don't know yet.
Right.
Again, you have to have the right amount of fluid in before you can see if the other components work. And of course, the lines are available, and the pistons, they may be seized. You don't know.
Ray, it's good that you mentioned that because usually the culprit is the piston. Usually the culprit pisses through the piston rod.
Right.
And so and they're easily, within reason, easily replaceable.
Oh. And then you're in that parts conundrum again. What guys like us, we're horrified because, let's just say I may have replaced that in my car, 20 years ago. And now I go to do it today and say, what? I only paid like $24 for that. They want like $150 now, and now it's made in China. So that's where you hear guys like us screaming, because it's the parts situation. But, you kind of, you got to, unless you go and find original stuff. I like to use original parts wherever I can.
Sure.
So we'll get that one step at a time.
Yep.
And Chris is right. The top, I was so wanting to put that top down because I love a convertible, but I said, well, I'm not going to. I said, I don't want to get it halfway down and have it stop. And now I'm really stuck.
Yeah, right. Then,
it'd be there was an episode of I Love Lucy like that, where they were driving a 53 Chevy, whatever, with the.
I've seen your dad throw it down. He unclips it like an MGB. Just
really? I didn't know you could do that on a power top.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Okay. When there's no fluid in there, there's
nothing. No fluid. Okay.
Yeah. There was no resistance.
Right.
So it just was able to just chuck it down.
We'll make a mental note of that.
Yeah. Yes.
So the thing is, what I always like to do is, if you're doing something like that 2-man job,
Yeah, of
nice
course.
and easy, because watching the top fold, it has to fold correctly. And I was the type of guy that was so fastidious. I would get out of the car with the top straight up and just straighten all the folds and then let it come down, because sometimes the canvas wrinkles up. Or even worse, if you throw it down fast enough, you blow out the back window, which is glass.
Right.
And that's always a drag trying to replace that thing.
Right.
You know, the other thing is a lot of guys will store their car with the top down. That's a bad move, because that canvas it shrinks and then you got to stretch it. It doesn't want to close after that because it's been shrunken for God knows how many years. So at least the car was stored with the top up, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, guys, you got a puppy.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Big blue puppy. Yeah.
You got a little puppy and you got to train him.
Yeah, we it was crazy because we were talking, Chris and I, and we got a temporary carport for the house. So we put that outside. We built it yesterday, and then the car came in, and of course, it ended up raining, but we had put the tarp up already. So, we backed it in, and she's there now, covered up. We're going to do some other prep. We have doors that go on either side, so we got to finish putting those in. But, it's exactly that. It's effort and work, and I think Chris and I are both eager is the best word to really take this thing by the horns and bring it back, and also just maintain it just as he did and try to enjoy all those memories again.
Yeah. And of course, the best part is the second part of your project is you plan on cleaning out the garage.
Yes.
To get the car back into, solid storage, which is ultimately
the best spot,
the best place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple weeks. So hopefully this thing will be outside for no longer than 2 to 3 weeks. And then we'll clean that out and she'll be back inside.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what, Chris, that's something I was wondering, and I, back and forth with text, I was saying her and she with the car, like a feeling. A lot of times guys name their cars. Did Mike ever name his cars that you know of?
No.
Not that I remember.
No.
Yeah. A lot of guys did. Mindy didn't. I really didn't.
No, it was just the Chevy. That was really it. It was just the Chevy.
Okay.
That was all. I don't ever remember your dad ever.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Nothing, at least, that he referred to it as.
Right. No, you would have known, because that would have been it would have been like saying, you would have been like saying your own name. It would have been,
he was incredibly proud of it. And do you know why he liked those cars? Did you ever hear that story?
No. I know that all I remember is that it was sitting outside in Brooklyn when he first got it, and he was back and forth to work on it in his uncle's driveway, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
After he had bought it. And I need to put something to bed, Chris, and I think you would know. Was the car white or was it always blue?
Oh, yeah, good question. Yeah.
The car started out, I think it was white. It was a light color. The car was painted a dark green when he bought it.
Oh, wow. So it's the third paint job.
Yeah, it was a dark, like a forest metallic green.
Oh, I didn't know.
You got to look through old pictures.
Yeah, I got to find this stuff. I got to see if there are viewfinders,
Yeah, I have a black and white of the car.
That'll help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately.
Unless it was white. But
right.
the data tag on the firewall inside the car has numbers. It'll tell you there's 2 lines. You take a picture of it, send it to me.
Okay.
It'll tell you the body color and the interior color in code. So we can decode that.
Sure.
Right. Your dad and I had a conversation one time because he wanted to get rid of that green because it was. So he said to me, he goes, I want to paint it red. And I was like, don't. I said, simply don't. I said, go to the 65 color chart and paint it a color that came in 1965. And he actually did. He went and found the color chart and found that Caspian blue or whatever it was. And he goes, what about this? And I went, that's the color you should paint the car. Painted something that was on the car that came from the factory.
And it's ironic, Chris, because back in the 70s, late 70s, when I was driving my Pontiac as a daily driver, it was tan. It was kind of like a gold. They called it tan. And I always wanted that car in a silver blue, that color, a silver blue metallic. I just thought that the 65 GTOs looked so good that way.
It did.
Of course, I didn't paint it that color when I had a chance to paint it, but Yeah, but I'm a big fan of that color.
Yeah.
When we were kids, those cars were everywhere. 65 and 66 Chevys were everywhere when we were growing up. So when he had said to me, I want to get a 65 Chevy, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
They're everywhere. Get something unique. He told me your grandfather had a black 65 Chevy Impala 4-door hardtop. And he had asked his dad, does the top go down?
Mm.
And of course, your grandfather went, no, it doesn't go down. But he always wanted a 65 Chevy because his dad had one.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to get a convertible version of it. And that's how that transpired. Yeah. But I do remember having that conversation with him. We were kids and he had that plan back then. He
Yeah.
says, I'm going to get a 65 Chevy. And I'm like, oh, good. You're going to get, they're everywhere. Why are you going to get one of those? But
show the guys
the time when they all disappear.
Yeah. Picture me in my 65 Chevy when I was about 22.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And this is the irony of all ironies.
I know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Ray had like a half a dozen of these cars.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not like he was.
What's up, Robbie? I'm sorry. I can, I'll get it back. Rob wants to see the picture too.
Oh, of course, Rob wants to see the picture. Here, let me just interrupt the entire show, Ray, and sit back and let's see have Rob have a picture fest. So that's cool. I mean,
yeah, it's cool. I was gonna say, Chris, we so after Ray sent me those photos of the viewfinder at Englishtown,
right.
I was telling him, when Dad took me to Englishtown, 4 years ago, and he was so disappointed with the difference, from then to now. And I will never forget that because that's kind of the memory that flooded back, obviously, when I saw the photos initially. But just, from all of the stories of you guys going, like you said, part seeking and finding things for cars, because like that was the meat at the time.
Yeah.
So
that was really one of the few places that you could do a parts exchange or find stuff that you've never seen before because there was no internet.
Right.
There was no way of doing things like that. And and it started to go downhill when we had conversations that were, hey, how much you want for that part? Oh, I want $50. I'll give you 30. No, I'll sell it on eBay for more.
Yeah, right.
Well, then
just
go
list
sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
It was that sort. Those were the conversations that we were having at the time. So it kind of, the technology kind of ruined that whole camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just through the years that we went, Chris, I was telling the guys we used to go every spring and fall.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw a set of chairs that were my dining room chairs, I'm like, oh, this is getting too new.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here.
That's what we saw towards the end as well. And my dad beside himself.
We were going there to buy socks.
Yeah.
Cotton pants and socks. We were going there to dress ourselves.
Yeah,
that's what it had turned into. But yeah, for a time it was the pinnacle of where to find parts and where to find the right people and where to find the knowledge. And just he really enjoyed showing it. He was really proud of that car. And I gotta hand it to him. He really did it. He did the restoration the correct way. He brought it to the right people. He did the right work. And it's the only one that can recognize it as it was happening is myself and our friend Andy, who and who the three of us were, because Andy still has his 67 Cadillac from when he purchased it in 1982. Nice. He still has that. I was the only guy that was swapping cars out. Like, I don't want this anymore. Get rid of it. Your dad and Andy kept cars forever.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I told the guys. You gotta start meeting old guys now, like us, and talking, we know this stuff, and a lot of us, myself, definitely want to share it. I don't want to. I don't want to be buried with this in my head. I want it out there. A lot of guys are not like that, unfortunately. They're going to take it to the grave, and it's sort of waste.
And it's true. And not to add any other weight to this, but if you guys embrace this, you will be some of the youngest individuals out there that will have and gather and have a passion for this knowledge, that you can take it and add it and bring it to another generation, when guys like us that used to be the kids, Ray and I used to be the kids, now we're cranky old men.
Yeah.
I go to car shows now with my 70-year-old cousin, and we get to see 70-year-old men complaining about their gallbladder. I mean, this is they park the car, pop the hood, grab the chair, sit down, and complain.
Listen, people can listen to Motormouth Radio for 24 years and hear that. They don't have to go to a show, but because we've been doing it.
We complain about everything. But I mean, you'll be bringing that forward,
right?
If and when get the knowledge from us, and that alone is probably a joy.
Yeah, it's priceless too. The amount of knowledge that I got from my father, and then from you, Chris, from Ray, and from other people, like you can't really get that like in a lot of other outlets nowadays, right? Because it's just so different. So
people won't give it to you.
It's cool to be able to have this and kind of learn. We were joking earlier, like trial by fire in a way, but like that's also a part of it as well. Like just Chris and I are learning so much, and it's cool to see it and kind of have something to base it off of.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to base this off of us getting out of here. We're going to be getting bit by the clock. Kim is coming in. Thunder Road, Best of Springsteen and band. So I want to thank you guys for coming in.
Yeah, thank you again for having us.
And I want to thank you for the opportunity to let me help you with this and I want to thank Mike at the shop for giving me the space to do it, because obviously would have been a driveway project. We'll carry on. This isn't the end. We'll stay in touch, and
absolutely.
I look forward to following this through, and any way I can help you, I will. And Chris, we had a few other guests in the wings. No one's dropped in yet. 2 weeks from now, I think it's 2 weeks. Next week is 4th of July. Right. Then the 11th. In 3 weeks, I'm going to be out. We're going to have to do a replay because I have to go down to North Carolina to babysit. So, usually go across town. You go maybe now I got to go 700 miles to babysit. But
the kids want to go see a movie.
I know. Yeah, right. Exactly. So, Chris, what do you tell the people waiting for all of us outside in our parking lot when we exit this building?
Don't follow us home and share the knowledge.
Excellent. Thank you. Guys, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
So for Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, Mike and Chris Malazzi, thank you very much. It's been a great week, great show. We'll be back next week with more Motormouth Radio right here on 90.3 WHPC. See ya.
See you. Bye. Thank you both for listening.